much, Robert. Ladies and gentlemen, the time is now. All right, this is the opportunity for CARICOM to properly collaborate after Robert said of 50 years. If we don't learn from the recent examples of how small developing countries were treated coming out of COVID, cast your mind back how difficult it was, first of all, to get face masks, to get ventilators, and then to get the vaccine. If that is not a wake-up call for CARICOM and for us as small developing countries, I don't know what we're waiting on. The second thing is, anyone who was paying attention going into COP26, the developed, wealthy countries were preaching to us that hydrocarbons was no longer the way to go. You had some activists who were trying to take hold of the global narrative. You had the European countries suddenly talking about taxing hydrocarbons, holding back on financing for hydrocarbon economies, such as the emerging hydrocarbon economies like Guyana and Suriname. If those aren't wake-up calls, then what happened last year on the 24th of February with the Russia-Ukraine war, and how quickly, and I was glad to hear our leaders this morning refer to it, because it's a call I've been making for the past year. On the 24th of February, when the Russia-Ukraine war took place, the first thing that the developed countries did is restart their coal plants. You fly over any European country, you fly into London, tell me how many forests you see that are still there in Europe. If they had the hydrocarbons, they would be developing it. So this is the opportunity now for us as CARICOM to take the lead, to stand up with our resources, but we must work together in something as simple as negotiation of your future PSCs, negotiation of your future contracts that are going to be what your country is developing on and what they're depending on. That's up to us. And we have the expertise right here in the CARICOM. We have the ability to work together. And for the first time in a long time, you're listening to the CARICOM leaders. You had President Irfan Ali this morning talking about that regional integration. You had Prime Minister Rowley talking about it. You had Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves preaching in his way about it. Now is the time for CARICOM to come together. You have Suriname, Guyana, Trinidad and Tobago with the existing hydrocarbon resources. You have, as you heard Robert say, the potential of other provinces, Barbados, Grenada. But if we miss the opportunity now as CARICOM, I don't know when it will come again. We've had some serious wake-up calls with those two examples I've given you. At the end of the day, when other countries are in crisis, they do what's best for them. Now is the time for us to provide the energy security, in my view, not only for the region, because we have the resources for the region, but I call on Latin America to join with us. And also, let's not forget our brothers and sisters on the African continent, who for many, many centuries too have been exploited and have the hydrocarbon resources. So my simple call, the time is now. We must take control of our own destinies. We have the intellectual capacity and ability, we have the experience, and we have the hydrocarbon resources. The rest of the world, is time that they respect us and they work with us as we develop this, not only for our own respective people, not only for the region, but for the wider energy security. And the wake-up call has come.
Thank you. Thank you, Minister Young. Yeah.